Welcome everyone. Good morning. I hope you have a wonderful morning so far. So I am going to start sharing my screen in a minute. In the chat, I'm just going to add my email address. So if you have any questions after this information session, please reach out to me and I will answer any questions that you might have. So in the chat, it is there for you. And now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so welcome everyone to our information session. I see the organizers booked an hour for us, but we won't be needing an hour. It's just a very short, informative session, around 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It even may be a bit less. This is also a repeat of the previous sessions we done last year, and hopefully we'll do the session again, and hopefully you tell everyone to join, and it just gives you an idea of Kumon, how it can be used by parents at home, and of course also how it can be used in the classroom if you are joining from a classroom. So today we are looking at Kumon Publishing. What is Kumon Publishing all about? How the Kumon workbook approach is used. Obviously, the biggest question is how Kumon is different. Why not use any other supplementary material? And then I'll show you the Kumon method in action as well and how it is used throughout all its books, workbooks, skill books, and any other books as well. And then how Kumon offers the right support as well. So about Kumon Publishing. So Kumon began over 60 years ago with a father and his son in Japan. So Toro Kumon started this range. He was a high school math teacher and he saw his child really struggle with math and math concepts. He also saw that his child really had low confidence and just couldn't get through the math problems at all. So he decided to create a step-by-step method to build his child's confidence and to show him how math can be fun, how you can do it at your own. And this then became the Kumon method. And then obviously he took it a little bit further and he introduced this method across the world as well. So at the moment, there's centers offering the Kumon method in 56 countries, and there's a student population of over 4 million. I'm sure in your areas you have seen the Kumon centers as well, so they offer this approach to children just to help them get through their mathematics, their reading and writing skills, but then also coming home or coming within the classroom, we offer published titles that parents and teachers can buy, and they can actually use this at home and help their children through their problems. So we work with the North America Group, which was founded in 2004, and they sell over 2 million workbooks annually worldwide, which includes us as well. So the books are created specifically between instructors, editors, artists within North America and Japan, making the workbooks really effective and intuitive. So I'll talk about the intuitive bit in a while as well. And this helps children to get a unique and a fresh perspective on the work that they're actually doing and making it a bit more fun. So the workbook approach. So Kumon workbooks are used to empower students to learn on their own, gives them the confidence to learn on their own, and it also helps them understand the work on their own. So how do they do that? So the books have a gradual progression. I'll show you example when we work through the approach, and it really goes step by step, which builds logically and to the next level. So it really makes it easy. So intuitive, as mentioned, each page is designed in a way that students know exactly what they need to do without asking a grown-up or getting help from a teacher to understand what's happening. I mean, we come across a lot of workbooks where there's a lot of explanation and no clear understanding what we need to do. But even children can just look at the page and they'll know exactly what they need to do. I have used these books as well at home with my daughter. She's 7 years old now, but I've started early, 3, 4 years old even, and she understood. If it's a maze book, she knows exactly what to do on that page. If it's a letter creation, she knows exactly what to do without having to ask me. So the activities are very carefully constructed as well to promote learning through doing. So it's not reading text after text after text and trying to understand, but as you do it, you understand what you do, and they passively absorb this information as they do it. So the Just Right challenges, which I absolutely love, it really is a challenge that is made for a child to succeed when they do the challenge. It's not something that makes them frustrated or feels like they have to pull out their hair just to try and understand what's going on. It really is a very standard Just Right challenge. And as they go along, the challenges do get more difficult, but they have built that foundation, so it really becomes easier. And then repetition. I mean, I know I learn by repetition. So there's really enough repetition that understanding forms and that you memorize what you are doing, but it is also not that repeated repetition or boring repetition where you start getting bored with the work as well. And then each book targets a specific skill at a specific level, so you can provide the lesson for each child as well. So for example, if it's numbers 1 to 30 or 1 to 120, it focuses on numbers specifically. If it's writing, it focuses on writing specifically. If it's a mathematical concept like subtraction or multiplication, then it focuses specifically on that. It doesn't jump between these subjects or these skill levels, so it's really clear and understandable. So how is Kumon different? So I'm sure most of you have seen a Kumon workbook and you would agree it's really a beautiful workbook. And it's really different from any other type of workbooks that are out there in terms of supplementary material. It's really high quality original artwork. It's beautiful. It is thick pages. It's glossy. It is really not something that you know was made without any care. So they don't license or sell other type of media within their books. It is a fully Kumon book. We we don't need to add any fads or cartoons characters because to develop a love of learning, the books itself and how it's laid out really creates that love of learning. There's obsession with detail and attention to detail to making sure that each book is really created in the Kumon way. And then there's cross-cultural collaboration. So as mentioned, these books are made in North America and Tokyo, but it really has been made to be used worldwide and makes sense to each and every child, no matter where they are. And as mentioned, very high quality paper, printing and binding, so we know that the book can be used again and again if need be, and the child can go back and review the work, what they have done. What I also absolutely love about Kumon is that you get a little certificate at the back, which you can sign as soon as your kid or your student has worked through the book, and they get a little certificate to get that little achievement and feel of achievement once they've completed the book. So what is the Kumon method in action? So as mentioned, the books are very intuitive. You can see as you look at the page, you know exactly what you need to do. You don't have to read a whole paragraph to figure out what you need to do. And of course, this is now an example of how to write letters, how to teach writing letters as well. So this can be used, as mentioned, both by parents and by, excuse me, and by teachers as well. So you start with a very simple exercise, drawing a line. And as you see, it's fun. It's not too difficult. It gives you a clear indication of what you do. So you draw your little simple line. Then you go on to the next step. It's not more difficult in any way. The child has grown in confidence. They've learned how to draw a straight line. Now they have to draw a line that makes, oh, sorry, makes an L shape. So while you're learning your fine motor skills from your standpoint, you now also draw your little L, and then the next step is you're starting your letter shapes. So it's not a big leap from drawing two lines that look like an L to an L, for example, but it gets you, it built that confidence to get you there. So obviously it seems a little bit strange to us because we know how to do an L, we know how to draw the bending lines, for example, and we have learned to read and write, obviously, in alphabetical order. But this really helps children create that letter without any real frustration. And then, as you can see, the last example is now writing a T, so you make the line a little bit longer and it's a little bit different. So this is a very clear and simple example of what it looks like, but it is taken over to any type of skill. So this will work with your mathematics, for example. So you start very clearly, for example, with your multiplication tables, and you go and it builds and builds. And as it gets more difficult, the child doesn't struggle because they have that foundation that they have built on. And this really makes the Kumon range really unique. So the right amount of support. So obviously the Kumon books provide the right level of support for children. It really gives that confidence, as we've just shown. And when teaching a number sequence or a letter sequence or anything like that, it starts with a really clear path to follow. And once your student has a little bit more practice, we just go a little bit more difficult. So as mentioned, it's very step-by-step. Coloring books, for example, yet they begin scribbling very freely, and then they eventually learn how to color with control and precision and within the lines that is expected at school level as well. It's a very natural and comfortable progression, as mentioned, and important is that it helps writing letters and numbers, obviously, before going further as well. So we've got a great list of supporting material on our Kumon. And of course, please reach out to me. You can just email me. I can send you the list and the prices, and you can see what you can use. It can be used in classroom, as mentioned, as well as out of classroom as well. I hope it did give you a more of an idea of what Kumon books are all about, and obviously what the Kumon method is all about, and what makes this range quite unique within our market. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So I want to thank you guys. As mentioned, this is a really shorter session as what the organizers did put together for us, but hopefully it was informative and hopefully you did enjoy it as well and learned a little bit more about our books. I will definitely schedule another one to give you more idea. What would be great as well, if you do have any questions on other ranges you would like information section about, please feel free to email me and we'll definitely see if we can set something up for you and get that planned. So thank you everyone for joining. I don't see any questions in the chat or in the Q&A, but as mentioned, please reach out to me and I'll definitely get back to you. Thank you everyone and enjoy the rest of your day.